Okay, so today we are doing lesson 2, day 1, representing, naming, and evaluating functions. It's a little bit different from what we've been doing, but I think you're going to enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. First, though, you have a warm-up to do. It says the graph of y equals f of x is shown below. Or if it was graphed. Which point could be used to find f of 2? Think about what we've been doing. Whatever's in here is the input. Where it originally was, by how it named, that input was x. So I would go to my x-axis of the graph, find where x is 2, and see which point corresponds with it. So in this case, it landed right on A from the x-axis, but A could have been like up here. Okay, we'll make this one E. This one, because x is also 2, could work. Obviously, this is not an answer because I drew that point in. So you should be choosing letter A. So here we are, representing, naming, and evaluating functions. Lesson 2, day 1. Same concept for our objectives. We're still looking for you to understand that a function will map the numbers from the domain to the numbers from the range, and each element of the domain will map to exactly one element in the range. And then we're just practicing getting used to the function notation and inputs and all of that. So what we have here are 4 different functions. Okay. I have the function g of x. It looks like negative 3x plus 1. I have the function f of x. It looks like x squared plus 7. I have the function h of x. It looks like 12 over x. And I have the function j of x. It looks like 2x plus 9. What you see down here, here are all the parts for number 1. You are being asked to evaluate these particular things. So before we just go off and go ahead by ourselves, I'm going to ask you to work on A through F, pausing the video to try it yourself. When you have the ones with the letters, plug in the letters like you should, using parentheses. Like for this g of x, you probably, when you plug this in, should actually put the parentheses around the b plus c when you go to plug it in. And go through and simplify the mathematics until it's as simple as it can get. Since B and C are not like terms, you're probably going to have stuff left over because they're not like terms. To get you started, maybe I'll just show you that one. And then just know when you plug in a regular number, it should all simplify down to a single number answer. So with g of x and plugging in, what is g of b plus c? So again, g of x is here, negative 3 times x plus 1. So wherever I see an x, I have to replace it with this quantity b plus c. So to simplify this, I have to use the distributive property. Negative 3 times b is a negative 3b. Negative 3 times c is a negative 3c, and I bring down the plus 1. And I look, are there any like terms? Can I simplify this at all? Didn't find any. So that's our final answer. And just to feel better, to do one more, we evaluate, if we do b, f of 3. Whenever I ever see an x, up here I need to replace it with 3, so I have a 3 being squared plus 7. 3 squared is 9. 9 and 7 is 16. Again, you also still have your calculator, so whatever you put down, you can plug in. Not a bad habit. Like if you saw, I wrote down parentheses. Not a bad habit to just put them in your calculator too, because then you know it's going to give you the correct answer. Because it follows order of operations always. All right. So that is all you got to do here. You have 4 more to do, so pause the video, do A, C, D, and E, and then you can restart it and check your answers. Alright, welcome back. How did we do? I'm betting we did really, really well. So G of 10. -29. H of -2. -6. J of 7. H of A. Because they're not like terms, it doesn't get any more simple. So how is that? Hopefully it's not too bad. If you're still not sure, don't hesitate to reach out. And just as a FYI, for letter F, if we had stopped right here, that still would have been correct. They're equivalent expressions. I didn't say you had to simplify, it's just habit. Especially if there's one number, you're expected to get that number. So scrolling down now. Things are getting a little bit more complex. We have addition and subtraction while we are doing these evaluations. You can choose to actually get each, like go evaluate G of 2, and then go evaluate G of 1, and then do your subtraction. Or you can do it all in one time. It's kind of really up to you. So you can choose to go, G of 2 equals, go through it, get whatever that answer is. And then G of 1 equals, go through it and get that answer. And then you can take your first answer and subtract the second answer until you have your final answer. That's fine. If that's your preference, absolutely go ahead and do it. There's not like a set way. I personally don't like to do that. I do it all in one time. So you're kind of considering, here's one thing, the minus sign, here's the other thing, and it'll work for H and I as well, same process. So G of 2, again, what was my function? G? G is a -3x plus 1. So G of 2. Alright, so sorry, you might have heard the door, I don't remember where I was. So like I said, I prefer to do this all in one shot. So I've got the grouping symbols to keep everything together. I have to evaluate G of 2. G was -3x plus 1, so I take that function and I replace my x with a 2. So there's G of 2. And the minus sign that was in the original problem, new grouping symbol for G of 1. Again, wherever I see an x, now I'm replacing it with 1. So I have my two groups. At this stage, I could evaluate one group and then the other group and then do the subtraction, similar to if you did them one at a time. But we also, again, had that advantage. We can create the grouping symbols in our calculator. So just using regular parentheses, I have my first grouping symbol, then the -3, parentheses 2, where I plugged in the 2 plus 1, and that group. Then the minus sign, new grouping symbol, -3, plugging in the 1, plus 1, end of the group. And it'll do it all in one shot. So this difference, the G of 2 minus G of 1, that difference is the -3. So you are now pausing the video again, trying H and I. In case you didn't notice, we did come back. So J of 3 plus J of 2 was 28. f of 1 minus f of 2 comes to a negative 3. So what do you think? Not so bad, right? For these last 3 that you're going to try, it's actually working backward. Find x if g of x is equal to 16. So I know that from the top, g of x is equal to a negative 3x plus 1. But up here it tells me that g of x is 16, so that's going to get plugged into my equation here in place of g of x. And now it's just a simple algebra problem where you're solving the equation for x. Remember our steps, 1 was using the distributive property to get rid of parentheses. We don't have that. 2 was combining like terms on both sides of the equal sign. We don't have that. 3 says to get all our x's to the left side. Well, we only have one x that's on the right. It'll do. We don't have to move it. You can if you want to. Then we are at the addition and subtraction to get the x by itself. So it's moving this 1 that's over here with the x. Opposite of adding is subtracting. And then using multiplication or division to get the x term along. So we divide by negative 3. So negative 5 is equal to x. Same process for these other 2. Right? It's a little bit different, so I guess we'll just run through them quick. If h of x is equal to negative 2, so I remember that h of x is equal to 12 over x, but h of x is equal to negative 2. The simplest way on this is if you kind of consider cross multiplication. Remember, negative 2 times x, 1 times 12. Or it just was a matter of multiplying both sides by x, because it's the same thing. And then we divide by negative 2. So x is a negative 6. And last, so f of x equals x squared plus 7. F of x is equal to 23. So we've got to solve for x. Start with subtraction. 23 minus 7 gets me to 16. So the way we undo this here, opposite of something being squared, is to take that square root, and what I do to one side, I do the other. So I have x. The square root of 16 is 4, but if I have the number negative 4 squared, negative 4 times negative 4 is also a positive 16, so the actual square root is plus or minus 4. So that was the end of the lesson. Now you have the homework. It's all the exact same kind of stuff. I would like you to do number 1, A through J. And number 2 is actually the ones that you had, like the letters or a couple examples in the notes. So I would like you to try these as well. So I guess just 1 and 2, and that'll be it. Best of luck. See me if you have questions. If you are out sick and doing this, you would be emailing me if you need some help. Good luck.